Captain Marcus Chen stood frozen in the airlock of the diplomatic vessel, staring at the creature before him. She was tall, nearly 7 feet, with skin that shimmered like oil on water, shifting between deep purples and blacks. Her eyes were twin voids, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. And her mouth, when she smiled, revealed rows of crystalline teeth designed for one purpose: feeding. "Hello, husband," she said in perfect English, her voice like wind chimes in a storm. Marcus's hand instinctively moved toward his sidearm. "I think you've got the wrong human." The creature, a Nyxarian, if his xenobiology briefings were correct, tilted her head in a distinctly predatory manner. "No. You are Marcus Chen, born Earth date 2287, stationed aboard the UNSC Defiant. We were bonded 17 cycles ago on Kepler 442b during the first contact negotiations." "I've never been to Kepler 442b, Marcus said flatly. "And I sure as hell have never been married to anyone, let alone." "A blood drinker?" She stepped closer, and Marcus noticed she moved without making a sound. "The term is sanguine diplomat, and you're correct, you haven't been to Kepler 442b, not yet." The words hung in the air like a death sentence. "Time travel," Marcus breathed. "You're from the future." "I am from your future, yes. Though for me, our 17 years together have already happened. For you—" She gestured gracefully with a 4-fingered hand. "They are yet to come." Marcus's mind raced. The United Nations Space Command had encountered many alien species since humanity reached the stars, but the Nyxarians were among the most feared. They didn't just feed on blood. They fed on life force itself, draining victims until nothing remained but husks. Wars had been fought. Entire colonies evacuated. "Why are you here?" he demanded. "To save your life," she said simply. "In 72 hours, the Defiant will encounter a krill harvester ship. Your captain will attempt diplomatic contact. The krill will respond by vaporizing your vessel. 473 humans will die, including you." Marcus's blood ran cold. "And you want me to prevent this because we're married?" "No." Her void eyes seemed to soften, an expression he wouldn't have thought possible. "I want you to prevent this because you're you. Because you're the human who taught me that feeding doesn't have to mean killing. Because you're the stubborn, brilliant fool who figured out that Nyxarian biology can sustain itself on willing donations rather than forced predation." She extended her hand, palm up. In it lay a small crystalline device. "This contains the krill communication protocols you'll discover 18 months from now. Too late to save the Defiant, but in time to prevent the war. I'm giving you that knowledge now." Marcus stared at the device but didn't take it. "If I change the timeline, everything changes. We might never meet. You might never exist." "I know." Her voice was steady, but something in her posture suggested pain. "I've already lost you once, when you died in the krill attack. Losing you again to save you seems appropriate. Why should I trust you? Your people are vampires. Monsters." The Nyxarian's laugh was surprisingly musical. "And your people were once called monsters too, Marcus. When you first developed nuclear weapons, when you cloned yourselves, when you spread across the stars like a virus, as the Centaurians called you. But you proved them wrong. You proved that humans could be better than their worst impulses." She pressed the device into his palm, and Marcus felt a warmth emanating from it. "We met during the Kepler negotiations because I tried to kill you," she continued. "I was young, hungry, and convinced humans were just food. You stopped me without killing me. You talked to me. For 6 hours straight, while I was in restraints, you talked about Earth. About music and art and the concept of mercy. You made me want to be more than a predator." Marcus looked down at the device, then back at her. "What's your name?" "Velara." She pronounced it like a sigh. "Though you always called me Vel." "Vel," he repeated, testing the sound. It felt strange on his tongue, yet somehow right. "I have to go," she said, stepping back toward the airlock's outer door. "Using temporal technology draws attention from entities you're not ready to meet. The device will work only once. When you encounter the krill ship, activate it. They'll understand you mean peace. Wait, Marcus called out. If I save the ship, if I make first contact with the krill, will I still end up on Kepler 442b? Will I still meet you? Velara paused at the threshold between present and whatever time she'd come from. Her smile was sad and knowing. That's the beautiful thing about humans, Marcus. You always find a way. You survived ice ages and plagues and your own self-destructive nature. You turned yourselves from ground dwellers to starfarers in mere millennia. If we're meant to meet, we will. And if not. She touched a hand to her chest over where a human heart would be. Then I'll have these 17 years to remember. 17 years of teaching me what love means. What family means. I don't know how to save them yet, Marcus admitted. I'm just a captain. I'm not a hero. You're wrong. Velara's form began to shimmer, fading like mist in sunlight. You're the most human thing about humanity. Someone who chooses to save others when it would be easier to save yourself. Someone who sees monsters and finds people instead. She was gone, leaving only the faint scent of ozone and starlight. Marcus stood alone in the airlock, the crystalline device warm in his hand. In 72 hours, he would face the krill. He would either save his crew or doom them. But for the first time in his military career, he understood something fundamental about being human. It wasn't about being fearless. It wasn't about being the strongest or the smartest. It was about being the species that looked at monsters, alien vampires from the future, crystalline hive minds even themselves, and chose connection over destruction. Marcus pocketed the device and headed back to the bridge. He had a wife to meet 17 years in the future, and a ship full of people to save today. End.